What's going on, everybody? We are back with another episode. It is currently 5 o'clock on Sunday evening, and I have been out here since 10 a.m. this morning grinding because, guys, I'm in a slump right now. Not gonna lie, I am in a slump. This past Friday, I played one of the worst rounds I've probably played in the last 5 months, and my game I've lost my way. I've lost my way a little bit. So I'm gonna take you through today my steps that I do to get back to where I need to go, because through my journey over the past year, I've had many slumps. I've had many ups and downs. And I've kind of figured out a bit of a system now where when things start to go sideways, I just have a way I know how I can course correct it, and hopefully this can help you guys. So the first thing you got to do when working through a slump is you can't judge yourself. You can't judge yourself for being not what you envision yourself to be. Now, this is something I really struggled with. You guys see me as very outwardly positive, but where I struggle the most is actually being internally positive. And I think that's something we all kind of struggle with. And so I can very quickly, as soon as I start to see a slump coming or in the middle of one, I can mentally put myself into a rabbit hole that is just not good. And I'm really good at being negative to myself. So I've worked really hard over the past year to not do that. And I've, gone up and down through various slumps to the point where at the very beginning, it was brutal to, the ups and downs. Whereas now it's a lot more manageable because I've just learned how to be less emotionally attached to the outcome of my golf. And listen, it's not perfect. I'm not gonna lie. I have been absolutely pissed for the last 48 hours because of that round I played. I'm not happy, but I'm not taking it out on myself the same way I would. So long story short, you can't judge yourself through this process. You just gotta roll with it. Now, step 2, because you're not gonna judge yourself, what you have to go back to is relying on technique and objective things to keep yourself in line and find out where you've deviated. So for me, when my game starts to go sideways, I used to not be able to know what was going on. I would rock up to the course and pray that whatever game was gonna show up today was gonna be a good one. Now, where I've now been able to get at a bit of an advantage in this category is that ever since doing the George Genghis program, because I have such a better understanding of the swing and what it takes for me to execute my swing at an optimal level, I've got an extra tool in my toolbox where when I start to see things go sideways, I can go back to a point of kind of equilibrium where I know things are right. When my game starts to go sideways, I see the ball start going low and right. If it goes low and right, that's when I know I'm cheating my swing. And historically, I didn't know what that was, but now because of studying up on this program, I've learned how to fix it. So for the past 2 days, I've gone to the range. I go through my routine of making sure my setup at address is what it needs to be. Typically, when I start to see those misses, it's because I've cheated my setup to probably hit a bigger cut than I need to, which kind of makes sense because I've been playing a ton of windy courses. And so I've probably cheated a bit to, hit certain shots into the wind that now have come back to bite me. So I'm making sure I'm militant on my setup because I know the setup is going to be the root of what I do. Once I get firm with my setup, I now start to go through my fundamentals again and get back to the swing I know is possible. Because again, I have the confidence from doing this program and it's objective that I've got the results. So I don't have to sit there and just hit balls and go, you suck, you suck, you suck. Because how many times have we done that? You go to the range, you don't actually know what you're trying to fix. You're just swinging for dear life. And you're probably going, you suck, why is that going there? Yada, yada, yada. And now you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole, into a deeper pit. Because of this program now, for me, I don't have that issue. So I had a great range session today, very productive, felt really good. The big telltale for me, if my range sessions are working, is especially towards, 4-iron, my 5-iron, and then especially my 3-wood. Because my 3-wood, if I'm not swinging the way I need to swing, which is, putting my whole body through it, getting my hips right, all those things, my 3-wood, I cannot hit the cut I need to hit. And that's when I know, okay, great. After I'm done at the range, I spend a lot of time here. Now, I wish every course had this. This is a practice hole. And my chipping is so garbage. It's just so bad. So bad. I've probably spent collectively over the past 2 days here, probably like 8 hours just trying to beat whatever I had out of me. Because again, I was starting to cheat my setup. When I get bad at chipping is because I'm lowering the handle, I'm not squaring the club face, I'm trying to be a hero and hit shots a little too, with my hands. I'm not going through my fundamentals. So I've just been here hitting shot after shot after shot at these 3 pins, doing my 18 up and down drill, and just until it feels like I don't have to think about over the shot, I'm just here all day. And I will go all the way back to 80 yards and all the way here to, just a couple yards in front of the green, and just over and over and over. Now, I understand this is insane, but I'm spending a lot of time here relative to my goals. If you're just trying to clean up some things in your game, you don't need to spend as much time as I'm spending. I'm just sharing what I do based on the outrageous goals I've set for myself this year, which is to get to a +6 and to turn professional. Now, another thing I've started to really dive into more is learning more about the game and reading books and just digesting different information. So right now I'm reading a book called Be a Player. Honestly, very interesting read. Right off the bat, I was blown away. They talk about right brain versus left brain and all the flow state stuff I've been kind of talking about since the beginning of this channel. So it's really cool to find a book that really resonates exactly with what I am thinking, and it's in line with what I'm doing. And it's really good on the mental side because it kind of goes with what I'm saying now. One of the things they talk about in the book is that you have to be the master of variability because you don't know what's going to show up that day. And so by taking some of the emotion out of it, not getting so mentally sewered, focusing on your technique and going back to your things that are objective in your setup to get your shots where they need to go, you can help eliminate those things. So I've been reading books. Next on my list is Every Shot Counts by Mark Brody. I've read excerpts, but not the whole thing, and then I just try and dive into as much different information just to get a sense of like what the game is about. And I found that early in my golf journey, when I was trying to navigate through some of these slumps, I just didn't have enough overall knowledge. And so you just start spinning your tires, right? If you don't know what's wrong with your swing, if you don't understand technique, if you don't really understand the true parts of the game and have accurate expectations of what you should get out of the game, well, then all of a sudden you just dig yourself a deeper hole. And that's what I've done. And I've been through some holes this past year. So you want to have that objective sense and learn more about the game so that you just don't be so hard on yourself, which again, it just goes back to you can't judge yourself through this process. Another thing I like doing, which I find kind of helpful, is just make a tweak to your bag to some extent. Nothing, I'm not saying buy a new club. I'm saying like go buy a new pack of balls, a new glove, put a new grip on something. It could be something super insignificant, but the whole point is to just create a different feel. I don't know if that's the artist side of me from being a music producer, but I found that in my music world, like sometimes I needed to have a new something to create a vibe. And so, I'll try that. I'll buy, I just bought a pack of balls. There's something about buying golf balls that I really enjoy, like even when I was a kid. So it just kind of brings back some of that joy of playing the game and just the fun side of it, which again, just hopefully changes your mindset and changes the feel you have out here. You're just trying to spark something. And the last thing is you got to be patient, which sucks. I hate being patient. I hate it. I'm as you guys probably could tell, I'm a pretty hyper individual. I'm pretty like, let's get up and let's get going. Like I got a lot of like, pent up, like, let's go in me. And patience is something I've really had to work on and learn, because sometimes it takes a couple days. Sometimes I've been out here and practiced and just felt like I got absolutely nowhere. And then the next day I show up and it sort of starts to click. The staff here were laughing at me last night because I was literally in the dark in that putting green right beside the restaurant, because there's a light that they shine on that green, and like it was dark and I'm chipping, just trying to figure out like, because I wanted to leave with something, but I had to be patient. It wasn't coming yesterday. And then today when I first arrived, it was like, okay, I'm starting to feel the motion again. I'm starting to get there. But again, today has been an up and down day. I have not been as fruitful in my progress as I would have liked until about 30 minutes ago, where it all started to click. If you're not patient with your process, if you're not patient with yourself, if you're not patient with the time it takes for you to learn something, make it instinctual, and then be able to execute it, you're gonna just continue the slump. The slump will exist longer than it needs to be. This is something I had to work on a ton, because it sucked, especially last year when I created this objective deadline of like, I got to shoot under par by October 1st. It felt like there was a gun to my head every day of like, well, if I don't get it, like I can't be patient. I have this deadline. And it was a mental challenge. And learning how to let go and be patient out there is so important, because you have to let the game come to you a little bit. Forcing it, unfortunately, is just not the path. And if you do all these things, I found that if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, right? Like incremental gains, small gains, but those incremental gains, you start to see a big difference. You start to bring back some of that excitement again. And I've been through that roller coaster, guys. It was bad golf last week. It was legitimately like brutal golf. Played with my buddy Shay, subscriber on the channel, super awesome dude. And, we had a great round and the vibe was good, but I played absolutely terrible. And, I could have let that sewer me for the rest of the weekend. I could have let that just, probably destroy my entire week here. But we come back here, we keep putting in the work, and you slowly just chip away at it and start to make those little incremental gains. And eventually it all starts to turn around and put you one step closer to your golf goals. So I'm gonna get back to chipping practice because I got only a little bit of daylight left. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Join me on my 2021 golf journey, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.